Hello, everyone. I'm having my two next guests come to speak to us today at Imagination Day. Actually, I just wanted to say, first I'll introduce myself. My name is Joanna Universal. I'm a strategy director, and then I'll let my two guests introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Anya Ziemkiewicz, and I'm a creative copywriter at Brain.
Hi, my name is Kinga Bednarska, and I am a creative art director at Brain.
Well, girls, I just want to say because I've seen you walking around in the theater, and I've noticed that a lot of people came up to you to congratulate you and
Yeah.
say that the topic is huge and it's much needed for a discussion, especially in our country. So I just wanted to say huge congrats as well.
Thank you.
And I'll dive deeper into some questions. So basically, I wanted to ask you because this is especially us three women sitting here. This topic, unfortunately, I wish the answers were sometimes different, but I wanted to ask, have any of you personally experienced situations that made you feel unsafe inspiring this project? So have you was there a situation in your personal life that you felt unsafe?
So maybe I can take this one.
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure both of us,
Yeah.
every girl or woman have encountered a situation like this, but I'm sure I did, and many times. Like I said in my speech, I even sometimes, faked a phone call when I had to pass by someone looking scary. But the thing is, it's just so common that people don't really, put too much attention on it. So, like I said, I feel like it's just a part of being a girl that you have to deal with this, and people just, assume that it's just kind of normal. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we both experienced it many times, and I remember being catcalled way more when I was younger, actually. It's not that common now. Sometimes it still happens, but when I was in high school and when I was starting uni, it was super common then. So it was even worse then, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, same for me. I think the first time that happened to me, I was walking home from school, and it was like the middle of the day. I was maybe 14 or 15, and just a truck, came by, and they started what's it? How do you say horn? Like
Yeah,
when
like
you
honking.
honking,
Yeah.
yeah, honking at me, and then a guy um through the window said something to me and like waved his hand or something, which
Yeah.
was really weird for me because like at that age I wasn't really like sure what this means. Is it sexual? I wasn't even sexual back then. It's just, yeah, it's scary.
So, just because obviously we're going to have more people watching this interview, and some probably couldn't attend today's session. So, I just wanted for our listeners, could you give like a small recap what your presentation is about and what's the app that we're all talking about?
Yeah, so it was mostly about this problem of girls not feeling safe, and then because of this, we created an app called Home Girl, and this app is really based on what girls already do between each other, like in friend groups and stuff, that girls call each other when they feel unsafe. So because our friends are not always available to pick up the phone, we created this app for girls to be able to contact other girls who are also walking home maybe at the same time, or just any other user of the app that is a girl. And then they can talk to each other through this app and make each other feel more comfortable when.
Yes, exactly. So it can connect. It can connect two girls who are walking home or traveling home at the same time, maybe in different cities, or doing something else. One girl is walking home, the other girl is maybe working a night shift somewhere. So the app just works that you push a button to call. The app searches for available user that will answer the call, or a text, because we also have a
Yeah.
chat available that you can just text. And then this way you can just, as two girls, keep each other company, make
Each other safe.
each other safer
Yeah.
and more comfortable during.
So it's sort of based on this girl code as well, and in the app we also have a map option, and on this map people can just like pin places where they felt uncomfortable or experienced something weird, and then this way this map is available for every user of the app to just check out maybe their safest way home or look at places they can actually avoid to.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I think in terms of especially uni, I think women tend to go to festivals, travel to different cities, and it's a really great idea to have a map in city that potentially is completely new to you and you haven't been there, and to stay away from places that feel a little bit dodgy.
Yeah, exactly.
But some users might want to ask a follow-up questions to what you just said, but the app is only for girls, right? So the idea is it's not that I'm going to have a guy call me or I'm going to talk to a guy. Why is that?
Well, we actually at first we thought it should be for different minorities that may also come by harassment on the street. But then a lot of different questions came up, like what if a dodgy guy answers the call and talks just some not nice things to me. So that's why we've decided that at the beginning it should be only for girls, and that's why we also have a verification in the app. So you have to log in using M-Obywatel, or you have to give your PESEL number so only verified users can use the app.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, sorry, we also have this thing, if someone actually feels like they belong to this app, like if they feel like they're a woman, they can also contact us and just like message us, explain their situation, and then we can like let them into the app as well.
Okay, so you leave a little bit of room to also welcome people who identify and want to
exactly.
Great. So in terms of, because obviously there's a lot of different situations that can happen when you're coming back home. So I wanted to follow up and see, how did you identify the most pressing concerns when women were coming home? So have you spoken to women? Have you had focus groups? Did you shadow? Because I imagine I overheard, so this is me being a little bit noisy, but I overheard that actually there's so much on this topic online.
Yeah.
So how did you gather the information to make the user experience what it is in the app? Where did you get that information?
We actually didn't have any focus groups, but whenever we start this topic, people just start talking about it and they just come out with their stories, and it always sparks this discussion about it. So we also just, I guess, talk to each other, talk to our friends, talk to friends of our friends, and it's like a universal experience of being a girl too. So sometimes the stories are pretty similar to other people's stories. So
yeah, and we also created this app together with Sexed.pl and IT Girls. So of course, other girls also contributed. Every one of us asked our friends, and their friends, and so on and so on. Also, there was a very wide research done in terms of what girls say on the internet, on TikTok or Instagram or other social media about this topic. And it's, like you said, it's overwhelming how many stories girls share on social media about what happened to them. Maybe it was just a brief situation or a longer kind of harassment-like situation. So we just thought that this is just something really, really important that should be.
In terms of tech, so I just wanted to talk about the tech challenge. So were there any significant technical obstacles you encountered, and how did you overcome it? Because I can imagine, whenever, when there's a great idea, but tech comes in, there's a lot of additional things that we need to kind of go through, check. So anything that springs to mind, or was it seamless?
Not really, I think. We had a great team behind it. It's also a pretty simple mechanism. I mean, it's just making, voice calls and texts. The only difference is that it works kind of like Uber searching for drivers. So when you call, it just like matches you with another available person. So this is a little bit different, but I think everything went pretty smooth.
Yeah, it did. It did. We worked with brilliant UX and UI designers from IT Girls Foundation, and Maybe the only thing that we had to discuss with the developers of the app was the notifications, because
Okay.
Yeah.
if there was more than 1,000 or even more users, we didn't want everyone to just get the notification at the same time, because it
True.
would be a lot of notifications.
Yes. Yes.
So we came up with this idea that only 20 people get the notification first, and if they don't answer, then another 20
Okay, it's
people
random,
get
randomly.
random people.
Okay.
random
Yeah.
people,
Okay, great. Makes me happy that this story, because sometimes you hear horror stories,
Yeah.
but I assume you had a great partner, hence the process was seamless.
Yeah, we did.
Scalability. So in terms of, so how do you see this app being extended for, would you say, rolling out in different countries or with different cultural norms? Because you did say, for
Yeah.
example, the minorities not feeling safe. So do you see it like long term? Obviously now it's all about the launch and getting,
Yeah.
getting it off the feet. But like you in your hearts and in like, how do you envisage the future?
I think even when we were talking about the app in the first place, when we came up with the idea, we kind of planned to have it international, because it would be even better if people in different time zones could answer the phones. And then, because since this app works in a way where you have more users, it works even better. So the more users we would have, the better it would be for everyone, and the faster people would pick up. And then we would basically have to maybe have an option to pick a language you speak, and then it would match those people together. Yeah.
Well, obviously we have this huge idea of what can come out of this as people behind the idea. But yeah, we also want to create a vast campaign, like Ada said in the speech, that would just educate people on the fact that this whole thing is not, it's not girls' responsibility to really feel this way, and not only girls should act in these situations. It should be like socially acceptable that this behavior is bad, that it just shouldn't happen. So we want to create a whole campaign about this also with
That was
the
my
app.
follow-up question.
Sorry.
No, very good. I love when my speakers are ahead of me. Yes, that was my kind of what's more to come besides the app, and the campaign is going to launch
Yeah,
for the awareness campaign to get people to understand that this is we shouldn't normalize this,
Yeah.
and it's not only on women. I completely agree. I think there was a campaign in UK showing the problem of it shouldn't be us fearing it.
Yeah.
It should be more the society saying it's not normal. But my last question is, obviously there is a current trend going on TikTok, women in men fields.
Yeah.
I don't know if you expected that. Probably expected me kind of tagging along onto the trend. But I just wanted to ask, how do you feel about it? Because I've seen a lot of articles, obviously women praising it. Some journalists being like, is this, are we focusing on the problem too much again? And maybe picking on a sex where it happens to different, to males, females, transgender. So my only question, how do you think? What do you think about this trend? Do you see it as something that's good, and would you want to tie it somehow into what you guys are trying to do?
I honestly think this trend is hilarious. I laugh every time I see those videos. I think it's symbolic. I think it mostly makes me laugh because not because of who, if it's a woman or a man, but because we recognize those situations that are
everyday life.
described in them. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and these situations are like very specific. Sometimes they're really small that you have to really you have this thought like, oh yeah, that's right, like what you just saw. So I think it's very interesting. I think
Yeah.
it definitely matches with what we're trying to talk about here and with our app and all of this.
And
like I said before, it's not only about women, like you said as well. So I think maybe this is a good point, that it's not only about women, but we have to kind of accept the fact that women are also kind of a minority in our society. you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
So so I feel like I love this trend.
But I also feel like no matter if it's actually really good or bad, it still starts this conversation between people, and I think that's the most important thing about
Yes.
it. Yeah.
beautifully said. I completely agree. Yes, I think starting a conversation, because I've seen so many people jump on this and being positive, negative. Guys saying this is bullshit, or women saying, yes, that happens to me. I have a flashback. But yes, it's a point of getting everyone to talk about it, because the more we raise awareness of this toxic behavior not being okay, I think I've read that actually this trend is helping women to see that it shouldn't feel normal, like this behavior shouldn't be accepted, and seeing it in a trend, women are like, oh my god, like I know someone who acted like that in front of me, and then I thought it was normal. It shouldn't. So I think this is what we should applaud. Well, thank you so much, Kinga and
Thank
Anya.
you.
Thank you.
Amazing job. Can't wait to see more. And then when's the campaign launching?
Early next year,
Early next year, we were thinking about March for the app, and maybe along with the campaign. So maybe spring, but early next year.
Yes. So big shout out to all the women listening. Please stay tuned and get the app and be on the lookout. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you.